This video was brought to you by UniverseQuests. 32 of the world's smartest animals. Though measuring animal intelligence is tricky, some animals show remarkable cognitive abilities that may rival our own. Measuring animal intelligence is tricky. As humans, we can only compare the smarts of other creatures with our own, an inherently biased benchmark. Asking which species is smarter is like asking if a hammer is a better tool than a screwdriver. Brian Hare, founder and director of Duke University's Canine Cognition Center, told PBS in 2018. Each tool is designed for a specific problem, so of course it depends on the problem we are trying to solve. Scientists don't have a standard definition or test for intelligence. Some look at tool use, brain-to-body ratios, brain sizes, problem-solving abilities or self-awareness, but whether these measures really capture animal intellect is debatable. Number 32, chimpanzees. Chimpanzees, pan troglodytes, and bonobos, pan paniscus, are Homo sapiens' closest relatives. Both share almost 99% of our DNA and are widely considered some of the brightest creatures in the animal kingdom. In 1960, chimps became the first non-human animals to be documented using tools, an ability scientists previously thought was unique to humans. Further research has uncovered complex social lives, a range of human-like emotions and metacognition, or the ability to think about thinking. In certain brain and memory games, scientists discovered that chimpanzees actually outperform humans, according to a study published in the journal Nature in 2014. No, 31 dolphins. Dolphins are so smart that many consider them the second most intelligent creatures on Earth. These cetaceans have complex social lives, understand abstract concepts, use tools, solve problems, show sophisticated emotions, and have an incredibly high brain-to-body ratio, about the same as Homo habilis, an archaic human species. Studies have also shown that bottlenose dolphins, Tursiops truncatus, can recognize themselves in a mirror and may be capable of metacognition. Number 30, bonobos. Like their chimpanzee cousins, bonobos, pan paniscus, have incredible mental prowess. Some researchers think these primates, along with chimps and orangutans, have a cognitive ability known as theory of mind. Creatures with theory of mind understand that other beings think differently and have different beliefs and desires. Bonobos are good problem solvers and adept at solving tasks that require an understanding of social causality. Research has suggested that bonobos and chimpanzees can remember familiar faces after at least 26 years of separation. Number 29, sperm whales. The sperm whale, Visitor macrocephalus, has the biggest brain of any animal on Earth today, with an average weight of 17 pounds, 7.8 kilograms. Though scientists have long argued whether brain size, and even brain-to-body ratio, is a good indicator of high intelligence, many agree that sperm whales are some of the smartest creatures in the ocean. Sperm whales form tight-knit family groups with distinct cultures. To communicate with one another, the whales produce patterns of clicks called codas. These codas differ from group to group, similar to dialects in human language. Sperm whales excel at learning from one another. In the 19th century, they were prime targets for whalers, but research suggests these creatures taught each other how to avoid attacks. Number 28. Pigeons. Pigeons aren't as bird-brained as they may appear. They can count, recognize words, and have an impressive memory and excellent vision. Pigeons can also differentiate categories of objects. In 2015, scientists taught pigeons to sort 128 images into 16 categories. When presented with new images from the categories, the pigeons could still sort them correctly. Pigeons can also recognize themselves in a mirror. In an unusual study in 1995, researchers taught pigeons to discriminate between the artwork of Monet and Picasso. After some training, the birds were presented with a new-to-them piece of art and were able to determine which artist had painted it. The pigeons were then further trained to distinguish between Monet, Cézanne and Renoir pieces, and then between Picasso, Braque and Matisse paintings. And in a 2015 study, researchers discovered that pigeons could be trained to detect cancer in breast pathology images. Number 27. Elephants. Elephants have the largest brains of any land animal. These giants have extraordinary memory, high social intelligence, excellent problem-solving abilities, and complex emotions. Elephants are widely recognized as some of the world's most empathic creatures. They live in tight-knit family groups and have been recorded helping each other in distress and grieving for their dead. Elephants use tools and complete tasks, and they even understand when their own bodies hinder them from solving problems. Like the mirror test, which elephants have also passed, this may be an indication of self-understanding, some researchers say. Number 26. Octopuses. Researchers think common octopuses have an impressive 500 million neurons in their nervous systems, about as many as a dog. They have the largest brain-to-body ratio of any invertebrate. These cephalopods have a reputation for being exceptionally talented escape artists and puzzle solvers. They can unscrew jars from the inside, untie knots, use tools, recognize individual humans, and play pranks. When hunting, California two-spot octopuses, octopus bimaculoids, can be quite calculated. Their arms work together in specific choreographed motions that differ depending on which animals they're going after. Number 25. Rats get a bad rap, especially in densely populated cities. These creatures are so reviled that in 2023, New York City Mayor Eric Adams appointed the city's first ever rat czar to eliminate the rodents. While it's true that rats can transmit pathogens, including hantavirus, Rickettsia typhi, which causes murine typhus, Spirillum minus and Streptobacillus moniliformis, which cause rat bite fever, and Salmonella to humans, rats are actually clean, intelligent creatures. They groom even more frequently and thoroughly than cats. Dr. Jennifer Graham, a veterinarian at the Henry and Lois Foster Hospital for Small Animals, said in a 2020 interview. Number 24. Orangutans. All great apes have advanced mental capabilities, and orangutans, Pongo, are no exception. These apes are excellent learners. An orangutan named Chantek became one of the first apes to learn sign language, and he even invented signs of his own. Chantek was raised by an anthropologist and learned to clean his room, use the toilet, play games, and paint. A 2018 study in the journal Science suggested that orangutans are capable of displaced reference, the ability to reference things not happening in the present. In their study, researchers disguised themselves as big cat predators and watched how orangutan mothers with young would respond. The scientists reported that after spotting a predator, the orangutan mothers ushered their young to safety, but waited to sound the alarm until after the danger had passed. Number 23. Crows and other corvids are some of the most intelligent birds on Earth, and their mental prowess may even rival that of some primates. These animals have been documented remembering human faces, creating and using tools, making statistical inferences, and solving puzzles. Like some primates, some crow species can recognize themselves in a mirror. Crows have about the same number of tightly packed neurons in their brains, 1.5 billion, as some monkeys do. Researchers have found that New Caledonian crows, Corvus monoduloides, rival 5 to 7-year-old children in their causal reasoning. Number 22. African grey parrots. African grey parrots, Psittacus erythicus, also rank among the world's smartest birds. These parrots can outperform 5-year-old children in certain cognitive tests and help other birds in need. In 2005, researchers working with a 28-year-old African grey parrot named Alex discovered that he might understand the concept of zero, which human children typically don't grasp until age 3 or 4. Chimpanzees and squirrel monkeys also show some understanding of the concept, but Alex was the first bird to show this ability, though his interpretation of zero may be different from humans. Number 21. Dogs, Homo sapiens' best friend. Dogs, Canis lupus familiaris, can read human social and communication cues, learn words, feel jealousy, and smell when humans are stressed or sick. Researchers have compared the mental power of dogs to that of 2-year-old children, though cognitive ability varies among breeds and individuals. Per the American Kennel Club, the 5 smartest breeds are the Border Collie, Poodle, German Shepherd, Golden Retriever, and Doberman Pinscher. Number 20. Bees may be the world's smartest insects. They can count, communicate with one another, solve mazes, recognize human faces, and learn. Researchers even discovered that bees have distinct personalities and emotional lives. But these animals see the world much differently than we do, making it hard to discern exactly what's going on in their tiny brains. For example, bees can see ultraviolet and polarized light, which helps them navigate and forage for food. Researchers have also discovered that bumblebees can sense electrical fields in the air, an ability scientists once thought was unique to animals that navigate through the water. Number 19. Gorillas. The famed gorilla Coco was one of only a few animals to use a form of sign language to communicate with humans. She mastered more than 1,000 modified American Sign Language signs and understood more than 2,000 spoken words. Before her death in 2018, Coco formed deep bonds with her human caretaker, Penny, who taught her how to sign. Like other great apes, gorillas use tools, can solve problems, and have good memories. Research published in the journal Proceedings of the Royal Society B in 2019 suggests that gorillas, along with orangutans and chimpanzees, may be more intelligent than the early hominin Australopithecus. Number 18. Orcas, Orcanus orca, are the ocean's top predators and the largest species in the dolphin family. Despite being renowned for their brawn, these cetaceans are also exceptionally brainy. Their brains can weigh up to 15 pounds, 6.8 kilograms, the second largest of all ocean mammals, behind sperm whales. Orcas have their own language, including local dialects, incredible problem-solving skills, and complex emotions. They teach and pass on information for generations. And in a 2016 study in the journal Animals, researchers reported instances of orcas playing pranks on humans. Number 17. Cuttlefish. Cuttlefish have one of the largest brain-to-body ratios of any invertebrate. These marine mollusks can count their prey, solve mazes, and remember what they ate and when and where they ate it. Their memory does not decline with age. Cuttlefish are also masters of disguise. They can change their appearance at will to mimic the colors and textures of their environment. When attempting to mate with a female, smaller males will sometimes mimic the female pattern and even pretend to hold an egg sac to sneak past larger guard males. In a 2021 study, researchers performed the marshmallow test, a famous experiment to study delayed gratification, on 6 cuttlefish, and determined that cuttlefish can exert self-control. Number 16. Poison dart frogs. While frog brains are not well understood, scientists made a breakthrough in 2019 when they discovered that, like birds and mammals, poison dart frogs use cognitive maps. This was the first case of cognitive mapping, that is, making mental representations of the external world, documented in amphibians. Poison dart frogs also exhibit unusually complex social and spatial behaviors and are capable of long-distance homing, researchers wrote in the study. Number 15. Fruit flies. While fruit flies, Drosophila melanogaster, may not seem particularly bright, these tiny creatures actually have incredible brain power for their size. Fruit flies are capable of conscious awareness, learning, remembering, and attention. Despite being about the size of a poppy seed, a fruit fly brain contains about 200,000 neurons and other cells. In comparison, humans have 86 billion neurons. Even though these brains are simple, in contrast to mammalian brains, they can do a lot of processing, even more than a supercomputer. Christopher Potter, an associate professor of neuroscience at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, said in 2021, "They enable the insects to navigate, find food, and perform other complicated tasks at the same time." Number 14. Raccoons. Raccoons, Procyon lotor, are often viewed as mischievous and adroit, and studies show they may live up to this reputation. Raccoons can open doors and windows, break into containers, and remember and learn from others. Under experimental conditions, raccoons have been documented using tools. In the early 20th century, psychologists favored raccoons as test subjects for scientific research because of their curiosity and intelligence. But their tendency to outsmart researchers by chewing through their cages and finding ways to escape and hide in the ventilation of lab buildings led scientists to turn to rats instead. Number 13. Ravens. Like their crow relatives, ravens belong to the highly intelligent Corvus genus. These birds solve puzzles, communicate efficiently with one another, trick other animals into helping them, and have complex social interactions. Like squirrels, ravens tend to cache their food to retrieve it later. Researchers have documented ravens watching others hide food, remembering hiding spots and stealing food. But ravens also know when they're being watched and will take extra care when hiding their meals. Number 12. Cats. While pet owners will always debate whether cats or dogs are smarter, there's no doubt that domestic cats, Felis catus, are intelligent. A 2015 review of cat cognition found that cats have a highly developed long-term memory, may be able to discriminate between quantities, engage in social behaviors, are sensitive to human cues, and form attachments to humans. But cat behavior research is quite limited, partially because we have less expectation for cat behaviors. Dr. Carlo Siracusa, a veterinary behavior expert at the University of Pennsylvania, said in a statement, "If you have a dog growl and bark at everyone who comes to your apartment, that's a major problem. But if your cat hisses and then runs and hides, nobody cares." Number 11. Squirrels. If you've ever tried to stop a squirrel from feasting at a bird feeder, you know these rodents can be quite persistent and crafty. Squirrels are great problem solvers, correct their mistakes, learn, and have long memories. In 2013, scientists tested the memories of grey squirrels and found they could recall the solutions to problems they hadn't encountered in 2 years. Studies into squirrel caching behavior, the system of stashing and retrieving hidden nuts, has shown that squirrels can remember where they buried thousands of nuts and even organize them by type. When being watched, squirrels trick others by digging a hole and covering it up without depositing a nut inside. Number 10. Sea lions. Sea lions have large, intensely folded brains that are about the size of a chimpanzee's. These pinnipeds can be trained to do tricks, perform tasks, and help with military operations. Since 1959, the US Navy has been using sea lions to retrieve objects in harbors, coastal areas, and the open sea. And as it did with dolphins, the Navy has taught sea lions to detect unauthorized swimmers and divers. According to PBS, a sea lion named Rio was the first non-human animal to display a higher-order reasoning that researchers thought was exclusive to humans. Number 9. Capuchins. Of the 5 families of New World monkeys, Cebidae, which includes capuchins, cebras, and spider monkeys, ateles, may be the most intelligent. Capuchins learn quickly and have excellent memories, so they're often trained to perform in movies and TV shows. Capuchins are adept at using and manipulating tools and have high social intelligence. In a 2009 study in the Japanese Journal of Animal Psychology, researchers reported that capuchins are capable of recognizing attentional states of humans, inferring consequences of others' behavior, recognizing others' knowledge status, inferring the cause of others' emotional expression, and recognizing others' welfare. Number 8. Magpies. Magpies are known for being intelligent birds with a penchant for thievery. Though their bandit reputation is mostly myth, they are incredibly smart and one of only a few bird groups to have passed the mirror test. Magpies are excellent problem solvers, have great memories, make and use tools, and display complex social behaviors. These birds have also outsmarted scientists. In a 2022 study in the journal Australian Field Ornithology, researchers reported that Australian magpies work together to remove GPS tracking devices from each other. Number 7. Ants like bees. Ants are highly social creatures with complex social structures. Ant colonies are incredibly well organized, and they efficiently divide their labor to ensure the colony's survival. Together, worker ants can build huge, architecturally complex nests. Ants can navigate across long distances, communicate with each other, and learn very quickly. In a study published in the journal Royal Society Open Science, researchers discovered that the memories of Formica fusca ants can last up to 3 days. And in 2020, scientists found that Eciton hamatum ants build living bridges to create a shortcut for foragers without needing oversight from a leader. These bridges are continuously modified based on traffic levels and environmental geometry. Number 6. Monitor lizards. Monitor lizards not only take the cake for the largest lizards in the world, Komodo dragons, but they are also some of the smartest. At the National Zoo in Washington, D.C., keepers have reported that Komodo dragons, Varanus komodoensis, have their own personalities, recognize each keeper, and exhibit curiosity. These large lizards are the first reptiles with clearly documented play behaviors, per a 2013 paper in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science. These animals seem to be in a psychologically different place than other lizards, study author Gordon M. Burghardt, a professor at the University of Tennessee, wrote in the paper. As these animals are becoming more common as trophy reptiles in zoos, they can easily become the great ape of the squamate reptile world. Number 5. Otters. Sea otters in Hydra lutris may be among the cutest animals on Earth, but they're also crafty and particularly deft at using tools. According to a 2017 study in the journal Biology Letters, sea otters have likely been using tools, such as rocks to open hard-shelled mollusks, for thousands or even millions of years. In comparison, researchers think dolphins learned to use tools around 200 years ago. Unlike dolphins, which teach their young to use tools, sea otters seem to innately have this ability. Otters can also be trained to respond to verbal cues. Number 4. Cleaner wrasses. In 2019, researchers reported that the cleaner wrasser, Labroides dimidiatus, became the first fish to recognize itself in a mirror, a controversial test that some scientists say confirms self-recognition. After the tiny fish joined the highly exclusive mirror passing list, however, debates raged about the test's legitimacy. For 50 years, for whatever reason, people just nodded along and said, yes, that's the test for self-consciousness. Lead researcher Alex Jordan, an evolutionary biologist at the Max Planck Institute of Animal Behavior in Germany, told The Atlantic in 2023. But when a fish came knocking on the door, suddenly it blew up. Number 3. Portia spiders, jumping spiders in the genus Portia, are known for their flexibility, problem-solving skills, memory, and incredible vision. Lab experiments have shown that these arachnids can make strategic decisions when attacking their prey, including planning detours that last up to 80 minutes. Portia spiders sneak up on their victims using a variety of deceitful tactics, including mimicking courtship displays, pretending to be prey or detritus caught in a web, and simulating wind in another spider's web to disguise their approach. Although these spiders have incredible hunting abilities, the brain of a Portia spider could fit comfortably on a pinhead. Number 2, goats, Capra hircus, have a reputation for being thick-headed, but they may be among the world's smartest ungulates. They have excellent memories and good problem-solving abilities, and they can distinguish human facial expressions. Researchers tested the memories of goats by presenting 12 of the animals with a puzzle box to solve. 9 of the 12 learned the task quickly and could remember the solution 10 months later. Other studies have found evidence that goats can distinguish a happy human voice from an angry one and a happy face from an angry one. When presented with an impossible task, goats turn their gaze to humans in an intentional, communicative behavior that both dogs and horses do when looking for a treat. Goats are also excellent escape artists and notorious for coming up with ways to sneak out of their enclosures. Number 1, humans. Of course, by our own standards, modern humans, Homo sapiens, are the smartest species. We've built complex societies, made incredible technological advances, developed languages, and can think logically and empathize with others. Yet Professor of Anthropological and Comparative Anatomy, Mathieu Henneberg at the University of Adelaide, argued in 2013 that humans cannot claim intellectual superiority over other species because we don't fully understand them, but we are also the most destructive species. Although our population comprises only 0.01% of all living things, we've destroyed 83% of all wild mammal life and half of all plants, The Guardian reported in 2018. Humans are also incredibly dangerous to ourselves. In 2022 alone, global conflicts killed 238,000 people, per Deutsche Welle. That's it for today. We will meet with another interesting topic very soon.